Forgiveness, actually, when you forgive others, it's not actually for them. Actually, it's for you as a person. And forgiveness is just a process. It's not like Martin Luther said, it's not a one-off event, but a continuous process, because the healing has to take place.
This is the Author Panel Edition, hosted by Muthoni Omukhango and sponsored by CLC Kenya.
And I will give a brief, the reason why I wrote this this book.
Yeah.
And when COVID came, I was working as a research consultant, and my job kind of completely finished, and I didn't have anywhere to go. So I used just to be in the house and trying to assist the kids in their homework and that kind of thing. And I went through a very difficult period for that entire period of COVID, because I had a lot of issues in my marriage, because now I didn't have, the bills were there, and then I didn't have something that I was depending on at the end of the month. Things were very difficult for me, and I almost went to depression during that period of COVID, because of now the issues that were happening in my marriage, because now my partner turned against me at this particular period when I really needed her, and she also turned the house girl against me, which was a very difficult place to be. And I thought it to myself, if this thing I owed it in my heart, of course it's something that I shared with my pastor, and we went through it. So I said, I have to do something. First, I've got to forgive her, because if I do not, it will, even going to the pastor, it's an exercise in futility. And for a Christian walk, forgiveness has to be your walk every day. Because let me tell you, outside there, things that people do all kind of nasty things. Even sometimes you are just in a matatu, and the conductor talks to you in a very bad language, and there's nothing that you have done. And it takes a very mature Christian to forgive somebody, because for you to understand that you are forgiven somebody, when you remember what happened, you remember it without feeling any bitterness in your heart. You remember it without having any resentment in your heart. Until you reach that point, every time you remember what person A did to you and you feel bad, you have not forgiven him. And so, even before we say those prayers, we have to go back and ask God to forgive us, so that now we present our request to the Lord. So it is every day. It is an everyday affair, forgiveness, because people cross our path in our, in our offices, in the house, in the marketplace, in the shopping mall. You get all that kind, and until you reach, sometimes you're just driving, and somebody just cuts you on the line, and you feel so terrible. And I was I hear of a story whereby somebody was driving a guy to the airport, and the guy was ahead, did manage his brakes, and he hit that guy. And so what happened is that the guy came out, and he was very furious. But forgiveness is something that should be able to flow in our hearts at every given time as we live our lives, because we have so many things that are coming across us, and it is not an easy place to be, but very possible. So something for a Christian, for us to always remember that if we are ready to make any meaningful strides as a Christian, forgiveness very key, because you'll not go before the Lord and ask whatever you want to ask if you are carrying excess baggages on your shoulders. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I like that. And just knowing that when you think of it, we are even forgiven, because even as we've been forgiven so much, leave alone that many times we've required other people to forgive us. But even just God Himself, He has forgiven us so much. There's no way we can compare His forgiveness with what He's asking us, to be able to do, to forgive our brothers and sisters. And so I like that. I like the fact that you said, Bernard, that forgiveness is for us. So even as you're forgiving that other person, it's because you also know that you need to travel light. This world is full of so many things. We need to travel light. We need to be able to release people from our hearts so that we can be able to move forward. Awesome.
We get so much betrayed by even people who are very close to us, even like the way it happened to us. And it takes a very mature Christian to be able to forgive. And I ask myself, why is it that as Christians, we are supposed to be the light of the world, and we bring the light to the world and the soul to the heart?
This is the Author Panel Edition, hosted by Muthoni Omukhango and sponsored by CLC Kenya.